Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope everyone is. My signal is strong, and I'll play some videos while we're waiting for people to come in, and then we'll be like butter and get on a roll. We'll get it going. Here we go.
That it is Barack Obama who corrupts the Justice Department. It is the law and gets away with it. And now we have Joe Biden who's learned. He's learned from Obama that doesn't matter what you do, if you're a liberal Democrat, you will not be prosecuted. Office can get millions and millions of dollars. And they learned from watching Donald Trump that a true outsider willing to take on the entire system could destroy their entire machine. So what you're seeing across the country is a desperate last-ditch effort by a corrupt machine to destroy their most dangerous opponent in a way which not only breaks the Constitution, destroys the rule of law, and establishes a moment of bitterness which I think will last for a generation or more. I think this is going to be a horrendous period, and we just need to understand the people who want to control America and dictate to the rest of us will break any law, lie about any topic, and manipulate the system any way they can, and that includes a lot of the elite news media.
Unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Look at them, they're everywhere.
Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they like Barack Hussein Obama, of course they do, because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive, of course they like him, because he does nothing to bring your businesses back. He lets the world rob our country, the robber barons. He lets them rob and steal from our country, and most importantly, he lets them take our jobs.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order take care of it.
Good evening, folks. I hope you all are doing well. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming in tonight. Let me see. Aha, Finding Dory's first one in. Yeah, I got to read her name. Sissy, how you doing? Angel, Robin, Colette, Todd, Wayne. Wayne, give me a thumbs up. Haha, I hope you all follow suit. Yvonne, I know she's going to give me a thumbs up. I know all of y'all going to give me a thumbs up. Helps the video get around. And anybody coming in after the live stream, do me a kindness. And remember to hit the thumbs up. Hi, Rebecca, Darla. Love, haha, twice. Angel's here. K&S Cleanup's here. Judy. Nice to see you. Marie, whoa, wow, jumping around. Flannel Cheese, Sparky. Nice to see you, Sparky. And so we had that Easter bombshell where the court put out unprecedented ruling, basically telling the commander-in-chief what to do when he signed Alien Enemies Act, which is settled law, stare decisis, all that crap, all law. But they said, no, hold on, no, wait. Don't do anything without the permission of this court. So I was waiting. Wow, there's got to be something being done very quickly about this, right? I mean, that you could say is a constitutional conflict. They like to use constitutional crisis, but I will say conflict because Trump did not respond in a like-kind manner. You want to ignore my powers, I'll ignore yours. No, they filed a brief, and then I'm thinking, we're going to get some quick action on this. This is something the nation needs to find out about, and then you have all the liberals putting out their videos, their boosted algorithm talking points and gibberish, and I'm thinking, they're going to get it. And, what do we have? We have the Supreme Court deciding a case about whether or not kids can watch books, read books when they're in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Absolutely disgusting. My personal opinion, promotion of hedonism, okay? All right, a cultivation of young minds to a state-run, state-sponsored church of hedonism. Here's so I didn't play that. I didn't watch it. I got the screenshot because I'm sure you all have seen. And the 5 unpacks it if you want to see it. It's got the usual crap in there. Heather has 2 mommy, all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, this country's lost. I mean, you have something like that happen on Easter weekend. You have attorneys threaten the court. Hi, Gary. Ha. Kathy, nice to see you. And threaten the court with 94 separate filings in areas that are really not the court's purview, given the operation of law, okay, which is in effect. But they're dreaming up every little thing in every little way, and then you figure they're gonna get on it. They're gonna get some clarity. They're gonna. The purpose of the Alien Enemies Act is that so an energetic executive, okay, you could have when you have an invasion, it can be handled, and I use the term, my own term, with alacrity, okay? Speed, swiftness, and take care of it. And they've done everything but allow to act with energy and with alacrity. So what is this all about? Is this something a little deeper? We found out more about this Garcia clown, okay? He may be, as I alluded to in the past, a little higher up the food chain, okay, than what we were led to believe previously. We found out, many of you may not have heard, but that the only order they can uncover is about him not being deported to Guatemala. And so this whole thing may have been a ruse. We talked about the attorney that was supposed to be representing the president, okay? The people, his name. He had a name like Ezra. I remember that because the Bourbon Ezra Brooks. Ezra Reuven or something like that. And what makes me think it is a deep issue, that it cuts into the deep state pretty deeply, is that his supervisor was also immediately reprimanded and removed from participating in these cases, and they're being investigated, I'm sure. And it turns out that El Salvador didn't have nothing to do with it. His parents and his siblings live in Guatemala. And the judge that wrote a withholding to withhold a deportation to a particular country wrote in Guatemala, not El Salvador, where his family lives. So there was no order to withhold him from El Salvador. But even if there was, the ongoing, I'll call it a misunderstanding instead of a lie. The ongoing misunderstanding is that he was wrongfully deported. But even if there was withholding on any country, it was automatically extinguished by the MS-13 designation. And there's no role for the courts to play in that designation and subsequent removal. So, and the other thing no one is talking about is that not one time did this Garcia guy petition to stay in the United States. His deportation was adjudicated multiple times, uncontested, and there was never a motion by this individual to stay in the United States. Can attorneys make motions for people? No. You have to have a client ask for it. But no one did. Nobody did. And they're all jumping on board with this wrongfully deported business. His order of deportation was without question. The only claimed error is where. Where? And the claim is that he was excluded from being deported to a particular country, and that order no longer had validity. So was this a purposeful thing? They're saying in his record, they're looking for the complete filings. And Tennessee is where these filings are. The judge had handled this, Matt Whitaker, the judge that ordered his deportation to anywhere but Guatemala, country that would take him. So, it's a much better chance that is a solid judge. Whitaker, we know Matt Whitaker, who took over the Justice Department after Bill Barr. Wow, my screen's freezing up. I hope my stream is smooth, because my studio is freezing on me. I'm trying to scroll and it's just sticking. So hopefully my voice is taking precedent over the function of the library that I have. So while I still have this in my mind, there seems to be a lot of coordination. And remember the term intricate web that Donald Trump referred to in the past. Not a tangled web, an intricate web. Is this Garcia guy part of that intricate web? What did we find out about him? We found out that his father used to be a policeman in El Salvador. The whole family moved to Guatemala. We found out that during a traffic stop, he was with known gang members that 8 of them, I believe, and a lot of them pled guilty to human trafficking and different things. And this guy walked. And there were comments by other pundits and people posting that somebody pretty high up had to let him walk. So what was the father's role? Why did he flee? Because his wife was making pupusas or whatever they called them. Here's what somebody put up. Well, look at the date. This was Citizens Free Press. Senator Chris Van Hollen, the one who went down to Margaritaville. Shame on President Trump for tearing apart hardworking immigrant families. We should be focused on MS-13, not scholarship winners. What? August 2017. Trump was in office, 7 months or whatever of his first term? He was being attacked by this guy, Margarita Man, because he wasn't getting rid of MS-13. But my point is about the dynamics with this character. He does have gang symbols, which I should have put that back in the studio about his knuckle. the symbols they used to spell out MS-13 on their knuckles. And he also had that he had a rank. I mean, he wasn't just a gang member. He had rank. He was ranking. And why would his father flee Venezuela? Why wouldn't, El Salvador? Why wouldn't they go back? His father was a policeman. I would be curious to know if, why would they go to Guatemala to flee? Bukele was cleaning things up. Why wouldn't he come back? Wow, I'm a foreign policeman. Now we have law and order. I'm just saying. I don't know him. I don't know his story. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was some chicanery going on where you got to get out of the country or you would be answerable to the new government. That's how we ended up with Ilhan Omar. Her father was in the Somali government, was a higher up. Is wanted and was wanted for carrying out X3 execution. A dirty official with BLOOD on his hands. So anyway, I had this.
The Hamas flag that was flown outside the U.S. Congress last Saturday during Free Palestine protests.
I condemn the smugness on your face.
So you don't want to condemn the Hamas flag?
Condemn the smug face.
All right, thank you.
Won't condemn the Hamas flag. I would ask her if she married her brother. But anyway, so we have this father of Garcia being an ex-cop and fleeing to Guatemala. If you're a persecuted person by a gang, a good kid whose father was, certainly you wouldn't be involved in human trafficking. Certainly you wouldn't be getting those tattoos all over your body. You wouldn't be beating up your wife or girlfriend or whatever. You wouldn't be driving a car like a maniac with a 1-year-old in there. You'd be a good kid, right? How did he walk around for so long? Was he participating in what Tom Homan has alluded to and others? Facts of the matter is that these aliens will shift the balance of power for the census, House of Representatives. Even if they're illegal, they count as physical bodies. Okay? And it changes the districting, changes our representative government. We know they vote. We know millions voted. Is it part of coordinated election interference? Is it what I have in my title? And I think you're going to hear more of this term, scheme to defraud. Because, you could defraud people out of it, a lot of things, not just money. As I mentioned many times in the past, Hermann Göring, okay, and Nuremberg was found guilty of defrauding the German people over the control of their own government. He behaved in a fraudulent way. So we'll talk more about that. I got so much stuff in the studio to go over. But I want to remind you all of something I mentioned a couple of times, but it's going to be, I believe, a boom. When this stuff gets settled out about how to do the deportations, we've got judges now we've got more and more in the batter's box. Okay? Colorado, Maryland, a couple of libs poking their heads up in Texas that were installed by auto pen administration, Joe. Some with no experience, all of a sudden a federal judge. It's got to get hammered out. And Elon Musk put out something very interesting. You all might want to get a screenshot of this and put it up on your Meta page. If any judge anywhere can block every presidential order everywhere, we do not have a democracy. We have a tyranny of the judiciary. And there has to be coordination with media because the talking points have somehow bled through the supposedly unbiased judiciary. They're all singing the same song. And that's why I'm suspicious of this so-called mistake of him getting sent to El Salvador, when the only paperwork anybody can find says Guatemala. How did they all get that same mistake and still hang on to it? But the boom that is going to come, I don't know if it's going to be 2 months, 3 months. What the final say will be on to this deportation acceleration operation. But when all that gets settled, there's something else they haven't thought of. When you get naturalized from wherever you're from, you take the oath of citizenship. For 10 years, you're on a banana peel. Granted, you'd have to be pretty much of a screw up, like felonies or violent crime or habitual. But offenses against the United States, against your new country, would definitely qualify you to slip on that banana peel. You can get stripped of your citizenship and return to your native country. And if that was too much of a threat, to the next country that would accept you. That's for 10 years after your naturalization, after you're granted citizenship. Not permanent residency. That clock doesn't start ticking then. It starts ticking when you get granted your citizenship. So that's the next thing they're all going to have heart attacks over. But we got to get through this one first. And we also have before the court the birthright fraud that's been carried out on the American people for the last 60 or 70 years. I said 3 years ago, the construct of birthright citizenship as it's being practiced in the U.S. was only accomplished by bureaucratic fiat. They just dreamt it up, started doing it, instructed underlings to start handing out birth certificates, and it became real. A falsehood became real in the minds of bureaucrats. And a plain reading of the Constitution and of the 14th Amendment would clearly support Donald Trump's position that there's no such thing as an illegal alien having a child and that child be a citizen. So that is supposed to be ruled on very soon by the Supreme Court. Now, is the Supreme Court going to change itself from reviewing cases, settling disputes, to actually making law, actually bestowing? Are they going to try to do that? Are they going to try to do that? Will Sonia Sotomayor feel that there should be some compassion and ethereal considerations given to people all around the world? And of course, the other citizens of this country that stole people's lands, that whatever, their colonization, that they need to pay anyway, right? Are we going to see that type of thinking come about? We've had a judge that issued an order that we've got to give them 30 days notice. These things that are already settled law, they have to have the notice written in their native language, in this case Spanish or Latin, I don't know, Latin American, or I don't know what you call it. It's wild. It's wild, and it's going beyond settled law. The other notion is that that we have to consider is how the courts are operating with the attorneys involved. They're not following their own rules. It's like they're all playing a game, and they're all acting like they're confused, that they're just trying to do the right thing. They're trying to come to consensus. When the consensus is there, it's called code of conduct, code of ethics. We're seeing it being violated every day. Something is interesting that was harboring gang members. And he got busted. We talked about that the other day, and I'm sure you've seen videos on it. If you haven't, it's not hard to understand. Just some nitwit judge. Here he is. There's a guy, I don't know. Was he the sugar daddy or I mean, what was the deal with this? Living in one of the reports I was watching, the newsman said he had this individual living in his favela, I think is the word he used. And, he wasn't even speaking English. What's favela or whatever? A spare bedroom, an apartment, or what? Speak English. Trying to normalize like he's just had this person living in his whatever. And the guy turned out to be a member of the gang. Here he is actually posing with the individual in question, and he's got a firearm. Now, I had a report, I don't know if I'll get to it, but that the big news was that he is barred from ever being a judge for life. So, big deal. That should go without saying. I want to know if he's going to get charged federally. Okay? Big deal. You don't get to be a magistrate judge ever again. Well, you shouldn't have been one in the first place. And we want to see some punishment. So I got this. His name is Kano. So the Supreme Court has scheduled an oral argument on April 24th. That's tomorrow, which is public and will be live streamed concerning Judge Kano. Will this be, I'm not sure if it's the state Supreme Court or the Supreme Court. I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on it. Is the court playing, the Supreme Court playing dumb? And actually do something? So I think there's going to be a purge. And I don't mean it in the Stalin Mao way. There's going to be a house cleaning of these judges. The point I was getting at was judge shopping. How they're judge shopping. It's against their code of ethics, their code of conduct. And nobody's enforcing it. It's open and notorious. So, is it being done to act weak so they'll keep throwing the kitchen sink, putting out these victories, dragging it out, letting them, okay, it won't work with this judge. This Judge Boasberg got smacked down, so let's find the next one. So we can get all of these, and I use the word renegade. I didn't say rogue. Renegade. We've seen the definition of renegade with Barack Hussein Obama. Someone who betrays a cause. A traitor. So is the Supreme Court allowing them to walk into their own mire? Is that the game that's being played? I believe so. I believe so. In the long run, we'll discount this Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor because Trump said years ago that he would probably be replacing Sotomayor. He said because she had high blood pressure. But I believe it's going to be similar to what we're seeing with this individual right here. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin announces retirement from Congress. Just in, longtime Democrat Senator Dick Durbin announced that he will not seek re-election in 2026 and will retire after 4 decades in Congress. In my heart, the threats to our democracy and way of life are real. Wait a minute, you're in the thick of battle. You guys are down. I can assure you, I will do everything in my power to fight for Illinois and the future of our country every day of my remaining time in Senate. Watch the resignations. Watch when people step down. Where is he at? I got his video where he Tell me if you think this is, what kind of affect you think. This is out of the blue. There was no warning with this guy. This is Dick Durbin with the music in the background, very well produced, every word thought up, and it's, drippy, honey type of crap, but he has no health problem. He's got no ethical or criminal problem that we know of, like Bob Menendez. That's not to say that's not going on. All of them have hung on to power to the very end. Think Dianne Feinstein. Think Chuck Schumer. Think Mitch McConnell. All these characters hang on to the bitter damn end. Why is he leaving now? Anyway, let me play this pudding stuff.
The decision of whether to run for re-election has not been easy. I truly love the job of being United States Senator, but in my heart, I say that I will not be seeking re-election at the end of my term. The people of Illinois have honored me with this responsibility longer than anyone elected to the Senate in our state's history. I'm truly grateful. Right now, the challenges facing our country are historic and unprecedented. The threats to our democracy and way of life are very real, and I can assure you, I'll do everything in my power to fight for Illinois and the future of our country every day of my remaining time in the Senate. I've given over half of my life to House and Senate congressional service. I've always tried to stand up to power on behalf of the people of Illinois and our country, but none of it would have been possible without my wife, Loretta, our kids, Christine, Paul, and Jennifer, and my energetic and amazing grandchildren, as well as my extended family. They stood with me and accepted the demands of my public career. I've been blessed to have them, as well as the best Senate staff anyone could ask for. My Senate colleague, Tammy Duckworth, is a trusted friend and an effective leader. She'll be a real asset to Illinois and the nation as our state's senior senator. We're also fortunate to have a strong Democratic bench ready to serve. We need them now more than ever. To the Illinoisans who gave this kid from East St. Louis a chance to serve, thank you for supporting me through the words and actions over the years. Now that I have this announcement behind me, I need to get back to work.
Yeah, get back to work. What were we talking about? Illinois. The Daily Machine, that's Chicago. How they have been crooked for decades. All the whole political system there has been crooked for decades. He said they got a good bench. Who? The bad look Democrats have, you can't get any worse than what they've been looking like. Who do they have to take his place? Well, we'll see who the Republicans put up. But this is the Democrat Party, what you're looking at the screen right now. You might want to get a snap of that and put it on your Meta. What? They're the party of vandals. Here, this was my thumbnail. This was my thumbnail. Marxist vandals, renegade courts. That is Trump Tower. I got a video of this bum. Let me find it. Vandalizing Trump Tower and then just sitting down. And after I play a video of Bobby Kennedy talking about how estrogenic our young men in this country are because of the food they've been eating and the medicines or whatever, it might answer why we see creatures like this. Now, I'm wondering who came in and put a stop to this. Because remember, this is President Trump's signature building in this country is Trump Tower. And this guy comes up and does this. And there is a mild language warning at the beginning. Man said something, but again, it shows you the levels of low levels of testosterone, high levels of estrogen. Because I'm not bragging, I am not joking. If I had been standing there, he would have been picking his rear end up off the ground. But at least this guy cursed him.
What a fucking piece of shit, bro. What guy's doing that? Hey guys, gotta leave. What do you gotta leave? Leave? Yeah. Leave that? Fine, come in, just break things then. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Do not touch him. Spray paint, please. Spray paint.
Who's that dude with the backpack on saying, don't touch him, don't touch him? Who the hell does he think he is? Who is that character? Watch how they start demanding names, badge numbers. But I will say this. They're keeping their voices down, not making that much of a scene, because they don't know who they're dealing with. But who's it? Don't touch him. He should be having his arm pulled up behind his back and got by the back of the neck, real firm-like. But who are these operatives? Little punks.
Are you police? Yes, I am. Name and badge number? Lieutenant Judea. Badge number? I don't have badge number. What police force are you with? Lieutenant Judea, which police force are you with?
This is your country. This is your
Everybody's
country.
got back out.
This is
Everybody's
our
got back out.
country.
Everybody's got back out.
This is our planet. This is our country. This is our planet. You cannot ruin it without comment. They are ruining the planet for profit.
Which police force are you with?
NYPD.
What's your badge number? Judea, how do you spell that?
They're a team. They're a team. That bald-headed guy with the backpack and the guy next to him, along with the little dweeb that got escorted out, they're a team. Now I put high-level operatives in my thumbnail. I don't mean these guys. They're just operatives. But you can see they were all sticking together. And to their credit, there were four suits there to effect the arrest. The first one arrived in less than a minute. So what's going to happen with him? Is it going to be vandalizing Tesla locations on film? Pink shirt. Yeah, he'll be arrested. But what's going to happen to them? What did we hear about the nitwit that worked for Tim Walsh and got arrested for scratching up over half a dozen Teslas? We heard he got off. That they said they were going to put him on a diversionary program. Here it is. Tesla vandal walks free after woke DA declines to prosecute. Is he going to get charged federally? We need to start doing and seeing perp walks. People getting in trouble. People getting high bond. You know what was in my feed right after this video? Immigrants sue social. Migrants sue SSA over disability benefits. Taking lawfare to another level. This was on display at Kent University. Defund now. You see that disgusting drawing or whatever it is? We only have to get lucky once. Whoever did that belongs in jail list. I reported a meme Midas Trash Network put on their community page that showed a detached head of Donald Trump in a commode. Very graphic, realistic, and repulsive picture. I don't know what they're going to do about it. YouTube thanked me for reporting. And I think what I put it under was repulsive content. I'm not going to show you the meme. It's repulsive. But the very same day, what does Legal AF, who is a guest and an attorney or lawyer that does, he's in the toilet. Trump faces red alert warning from new disaster numbers. A complete figment of someone's imagination. We've all been watching on CNN, Harry Enten, over and over, how Trump is taking off like a rocket, a soaring eagle. But this is the garbage they put out. At the same time, that repugnant meme went out. So we got coordination. We're seeing coordination. We're seeing an intricate web with attorneys who are embedded in the White House and the Justice Department. They seem to be mind readers with these judges. They seem to get the luck of the draw with these judges that are supposed to be random. How does that happen? How does everybody have the same talking points? How does everybody get the same draw? Trump is suing Perkins Coie. I'm suing the law firm of Perkins Coie for their egregious and unlawful acts. In particular, the conduct. I said code of conduct, code of ethics of a specific member of this firm, only to find out that the judge assigned to this case is Beryl Howell, an Obama appointment and a highly biased and unfair disaster. How many times have we put up Beryl Howell? She's on one of my thumbnails. How does she get these controversial cases and all the public denigration she's done of Donald Trump and Trump supporters, more than half the country? She ruled against me in the past in a shocking display of sick judicial temperament on a case that ended up working out very well for me on appeal. Her ruling was so pathetically bad that it became, quote, the talk of the town, unquote. I could have 100% perfect case, and she would angrily rule against me. It's called Trump derangement syndrome, and she's got a bad case of it. To put it nicely, Beryl Howell is an unmitigated train wreck. No justice. Remember I was saying that most professional licenses, if you're going to be involved in insurance sales, if you're going to be a real estate broker, a real estate salesman, and many other professions, that they have their own board, a board of ethics, a board of complaint, and it's generally handled in-house amongst other professionals. And they can refer people for criminal prosecution or further discipline. They can recommend licenses be suspended. And they're very active. Attorneys and judges have their own code of ethics and codes of conduct. They have the bar associations that they're supposed to be answerable to. Judges have their own bar. Attorneys have a bar. And they have bars in different states and districts that are supposed to oversee these people. How come nothing's happening? How come they're not policing themselves? I suggest that Congress have the power to impanel a commission to discipline judges and attorneys. If it's patently obvious that offenses are being committed and no one is doing anything about it, then Congress, which is the strongest of the three branches, that's why it's Article 1, the Congress. The Congress has the power of impeachment. The Congress has the power of the purse. The Congress is the closest to the people. Closer than a single executive. Closer than the Supreme Court. They get elected every 2 years. They have to be listening to their constituents if the elections were fair. So there has to be some reform, and there has to be action. Many people know their congressman's number, but do you know who to call when a lawyer's kicking you around? Do you know who to call when a judge, like what's happening with that judge who wanted his weed eater at almost midnight? And everybody went to the wrong house, and somebody. Yeah, I agree, Gary. I agree. I am beating the drum. But we see Mr. T do repeat the same things. This war would have never happened. He says it every day. Because we got to find unity through consensus, where people understand repetition, even though I know some of my viewers might find it boring because they watch me all the time. But I'm hoping we can bring new people in and find consensus. Just the news. Donald Trump put this up. Trump-approved strikes have killed 74 terrorists seeking to attack U.S. homeland, Mike Walsh reveals. Also reveals China blinked in its tariff dispute. Not if you listen to all of these supercharged, crazy liberals, channels that are getting artificially boosted. I saw Lawrence O'Donnell say Donald Trump's not tough. He blinked. They all say the same stuff with China. Let me tell you something. Did you ever see people get in a fight? One guy's sitting on top of the other guy, rubbing his face in the gravel, sticking his finger in his ear, tell him, look, do you give? Do you give? The other guy, giving him noogies. I'll let you up, but you better do what I say. And then you let them up, and they do what you say. That's what this tariff thing was about with Trump. He's got China on the ground, rubbing their face in the gravel. And like my one friend said, I need to go drink a beer. I had enough of this. I'll let you up now, and I'm going to drink my beer, and you behave yourself. And that was it. This is where it's at with China. But the media paints it out that Trump caved to China. Farthest thing from the truth. Trump said, I wonder if I got that specific clip. Trump said, I'll make a deal for them. If they don't want to make a deal, I'll make a deal for them. Let me see. This might be it. I'll play these. I got a bunch of 2 or 3, maybe 4 Trump clips. Let me see. What's this one about? Oh, this might be the Zelensky Russia thing. He's told Zelensky, look, you're out of. We'll see which one this is.
And if I can solve it because of a certain ability, that would be great. And if it doesn't happen, I will say that I think Russia is ready. And a lot of people said Russia wanted to go for the whole thing. And I think we have a deal with Russia. We have to get a deal with Zelensky. And I hope that Zelensky, I thought it might be easier to deal with Zelensky. So far it's been harder, but that's okay. It's all right. But I think we have a deal with both. I hope they do it because I'm looking to save. And, you know, we spend a lot of money, but this is about a lot of humanity. This is the worst. I get the pictures, the satellite pictures. I've never seen anything like it of the fields after some of these battles. It's horrible that it's going for nothing. We would have never had this problem. You would have never had that war.
See what I mean? He says it every single time. It sounds redundant to us, but a lot of people that have never listened to Trump that might start are hearing that he's trying to stop a war. He's trying to stop death. Where he's the only one that's talking about saving lives, young people dying. How could somebody like that say suckers and losers. They're seeing the real Trump, not the dreamt up, drummed up crap that's being pumped out about him all the time. And each time he talks, he doesn't know who's watching and who has not heard what he has to say. So he repeats it again and again. Let me see what this clip is about. I'm not sure.
When can we expect the Epstein documents to be released? The rest of them?
Which documents?
The Epstein files?
I don't know. I'll speak to the Attorney General about that. I really don't know. I know that we've done the RFK. The Kennedy, Martin Luther King is out there very shortly, so we'll find out. But we've really announced we're doing them in full transparency. You know, when we did JFK, people were saying, "Oh, maybe it wasn't all; it was all," and people actually went up to the office and they looked at some things that were, you know, not really easily available, and they were amazed that we gave it all. And I don't know if it solved any problems for people. People still have questions one way or the other, but that I'm not. But 100% of all of these documents are being
talking about the Epstein files. 100% of all the documents. 100% of all docs. Epstein files. Gets my mind to go back to Durbin. Because let me tell you something. If something is coming for Durbin, the powers that be want to get him out now, before it hits. Not in the middle of a campaign, because I think he's got to start campaigning very soon, because he's midterm. He's midterm. So there's something in the wind for Durbin if it hadn't happened already. And how many others will drop? Here's another clip of Mr. T. Oh, did you notice the Space Force flag right behind Mr. T? I shouldn't have took that down. I should have pointed that out. He had the Space Force flag right behind him. Ha, ha, ha.
Hi, Mr. President, on China.
Yeah, we are going to have a fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active. Everybody wants to be a part of what we're doing. They know that they can't get away with it any longer, but they're still going to do fine. And we're going to have a country that you can be proud of, not a laughing stock all over the world for many years, you know. And 1913, they trade.
Here we go. He's bringing this up every time. And listen real good to what he says, because he's talking about, I believe, is going to be the abolition of personal taxes by the government. That's a gateway to slavery.
Traded to the income tax system. We used to be all tariff, and we had no income tax, and we had the wealthiest country we ever had, proportionately money than anybody. They had committees how to spend the money. They had so much money they didn't know how to spend. Then income tax. Let's let the people pay. Now, we're going to be able to substantially lower taxes when this is finished.
So, Mr. President, how does it look in the meantime? Are you considering
it looks good, yeah. No, it looks good.
While you're negotiating?
It looks good. We were losing anywhere from $3 to $5 billion a day. Think of it. We're losing billions of dollars a day under Biden and other presidents, frankly. But under Biden, it got really worse. China got out of control. We're losing $1 trillion a year. Trillion, not a billion, not a million, $1 trillion. And now we're going to be making money with everyone, and everyone's going to be happy. But we're no longer going to be the country that's ripped off by every country in the world. Thank you.
No longer going to be the country ripped off by every country in the world. And that's because they can directly tax us. And our money is going all over the world to bureaucrats and lizard people all over the world. And like, what's her face, Kamala Harris said, and many others have said, I can destroy someone's life with my signature. They have that kind of power. They can destroy your life with a signature. We heard that Klaus Schwab, speaking of lizard people, look at that eyeball. What's going on with that eyeball? What's the story here? Carol Mack put up, Klaus Schwab is out. This guy is in. Meet Peter Brabeck-Lemont, former CEO of Nestle, who famously stated in 2017, humans have no right to access free water. Be careful what you wish for. Well, water falls out of the sky, you nitwit, you creature. And you'll be dealt with. Anybody that wants to withhold natural resources from other human beings will be dealt with. Here we go. For the first time in history, Babylon B. Supreme Court has 5 female justices. Ha ha ha. Here's another one for you. Put it on your meta page. Democrats be like Laken Riley, red-rummed. Rachel Morin, red-rummed. Natalie Steinel, red-rummed. MS-13 gang member put in prison. Oh, what? Another Maryland woman lost her life yesterday. I might have a video on that. Her husband. No, it was an illegal alien. I'm sorry. The other one's husband put her 5 feet under. Remember that? He was also an illegal alien. Something else from Babylon B to put in your meta. Democrats begin chugging artificial food dyes to protest RFK. Yeah, they come in to steal. Who knows what they put in it? And I was talking about high-level operatives with those attorneys. That attorney that put this poison pill in, how does everybody rally around this Garcia kid or guy or whatever? Coordinated. Congressmen, judges, all rallying around this guy. Do you know he's no longer in CCOT? How many of you knew that Garcia is not in CCOT anymore? Put a 1 in if it's news to you that he's not in CCOT. Who did not know that till I said something? He is not. What's going on there? He got transferred. Wanda didn't know. Todd said he heard that. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Miss Mendersu. Nice to see you. Justin, nice to see you. Angel, let's see. That small spell check. Still need people to see. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Angel. Robin's just now finding out. Well, isn't that odd Why isn't this being put out? Because what's his name? Senator Van Hollen? He was in Venezuela. One of his press releases, press conferences, he said that Garcia had been moved to a different prison 9 or 10 days earlier. This was when Van Hollen went to Venezuela at the start of all this stuff. He disclosed that he was transferred to a different prison other than CCOT. Nobody's pointing it out. We have federal judges claiming this person is still in the most horrible, notorious, terrible prison in the world. But the fact of the matter is he is not. Could it be because he's got... Could it be they want to protect him and get as much information as they can? Was Van Hollen's trip some kind of desperation ploy? I believe so. But the point I'm getting at, you had Hegseth fire the head of the NSA. One of his little compadres got canned. You had that attorney and his immediate supervisor at the Department of Justice get canned. Now you have the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, canning 2 of them. Politicization of our intelligence and leaking declassified information puts our nation's security at risk and must end. Those who leak classified information will be found and held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Today, I referred to Intelligence Department of Justice for criminal referral, with a 3rd criminal referral on its way, which includes the recent illegal leak to the Washington Post. Now listen to what she calls them. She calls them these deep... You heard that right. These deep state criminals leak classified information for partisan political purpose to undermine POTUS's agenda. I look forward to working with the Justice Department and the FBI to investigate, terminate, and prosecute these criminals. Deep state. She used a term that was verboten. Verboten. When is this bird going to sing? Breaking. Chairman Comer refers to Andrew Cuomo to DOJ for criminal charges. Remember, oh, I know what you're saying, Angel. For me to leave it small enough for you to get a screenshot. Okay, I'm sorry. There. I get it now. Remember, this is the 2nd time he was referred. The first time, the auto pen administration did nothing about the criminal referral. This is a new criminal referral. And remember, Fauci is not immune from state charges. So anyway, Oversight Committee, Andrew Cuomo lied to Congress about the deadly nursing home scandal. That's why Chairman Comer is re-upping his referral to the DOJ for criminal charges. Seniors in New York died under Cuomo's must admit nursing home order. That bird's going to sing. His brother, what's going on with him, with his little mask? Remember they did that little funny thing with the big oversized nasal swab? Evidence suggests Mr. Cuomo knowingly and willfully made false statements to the Select Committee on numerous occasions about material aspects of New York's COVID-19 nursing home disaster. And the ensuing cover-up. The Select Subcommittee referred Mr. Cuomo to the DOJ for criminal prosecution. What is his brother doing about this? His brother's just going to let him go down? Is his brother just going to let his other brother go down? You tell me, does he sound like he's worried about his brother? Or maybe worried about his own rear end?
I can't believe this is coming from Chris Cuomo.
I believe that what the Democrats did to Donald Trump, which I covered, which was the job, to impeach a guy when you know you... Okay? Zero chance. That was a political indulgence to do nothing but distract from the interests of the people, and you were creating an impression of a standard that you never had any intention of holding up yourself. Your cases, Charlie, were crap, and they only brought them to try to slow down Trump. We both know it. And what they did with Kamala Harris is proof that they don't give a shit about any higher standard. They didn't even allow for democratic process in their own stupid little club where they can do whatever they want.
Sounds to me like he's singing this song that's going to save his rear end. So the upper echelons of the Democrat Party is getting demolished. Here's Kash Patel. I see what you're saying, Angel. Yeah, give them, they need to be woken up slowly. Okay, I understand. Here's Kash Patel.
Just in the last 3 weeks, Trey, the FBI has arrested and brought to justice, thanks to the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi, 3 top 10 of the FBI's most wanted. Let me just say that again. Not 1, not 2, but 3 of the FBI's most wanted top 10 are Hegseth and Rubio, and the list goes on. But we've also returned to justice in just one short week's time one of the architects of the Abbey Gate explosion that killed 13 of our service members. We did that in 1 week, flying through multiple countries and going into Pakistan and utilizing our liaison relationships and the leverage that we have thanks to great guys like Johnny Ratcliffe and getting a modicum of justice to the American people. And just to put that in perspective, those folks have been on the run for 4 years. And in the last 12 months before I got into this seat, Trey, do you know how many top 10 FBI's most wanted were arrested by the FBI? 0.
So I remember when Jeff Sessions was putting out all the pop busts he made, and I was wondering, is that just to placate people? Or, I mean, what? Hopefully this isn't just to placate people. But he's moving along with big busts like the Abbey Gate. Here's a meme video I think you all will find interesting. I wonder if I get in trouble for putting this up. I wonder if it's Dilly Memes. Dilly Memes. Let's see if they copy and then write me. Let's see.
Shall we play? Global thermonuclear war.
No. Let's play Election Subversion Simulator 2024.
By June, the Trump campaign knew. The data showed a landslide. So did the deep state. With assassinations failed, Plan B was activated.
Analyzing survivable versus catastrophic outcomes. Deploying strategic time waste. Initiate false fights. Sacrifice pawns.
Pick fights you don't mind losing. Waste their time. Waste their momentum. Ever wonder why victories are dragged out for years? Why Dems fight to the death for MS-13, even when they know it's a loser?
Would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not.
We are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
We're not going to cooperate. We're not going to ask our police force to serve as ICE agents.
We're going to have to lead a much larger movement against this future president. The city of Los Angeles will not participate in any collaboration with ICE.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Xiomara Berga Garcia be released.
It's not about beating Trump. It's about running out his clock. Doge was this close to unlocking everything until the lawsuits buried it. It's not a mistake, it's a strategy.
No path to victory, only delay, delay, delay.
A strange game. The only winning move is not to let them play.
They're trying to run out the clock. They're trying to run out the clock. No winning moves. Did you see where it said in bright red letters, fraud detected? Fraud detected. Here is a Russian artist. A Russian artist who painted a picture for Donald Trump. And it was given as a gift to Donald Trump. Well, this guy from CNN is interviewing the artist, who seems like an earnest, nice man. But you'll see him say little snarky comments. But I don't see how it does anything but benefit Mr. T. It shows how he's respected, and what happened to him is being spread all around the world.
Важно было показать эти все кровь, шрам и его мужественность. Он не сломился.
Well, this is the first glimpse of what we're told is a portrait gifted to President Trump by Vladimir Putin in March. You can see the Russian artist who we met in Moscow was pretty kind, showing Trump looking heroic, even trim.
Не сломился, он не испугался. Он, наоборот, поднял руку, что мы все равно с Америкой едины и вернем ей то, что она достойна.
The painting, handed to Trump envoy Steve Witkoff, was clearly meant to flatter as Trump and Putin discuss ending the Ukraine war and rebuilding ties. And apparently it worked. Witkoff said Trump was touched at what he called the beautiful portrait. Safronov is one of Russia's most famous artists and has painted dozens of world leaders before. The late Pope Francis and, of course, Vladimir Putin. The Trump painting, he told me, was commissioned by a patron he suspected was the Kremlin.
Я понял, что это может быть очень важным политическим каким-то шагом на сближение наших стран.
Later, he says he was contacted by President Putin himself, who told him the flattering Trump portrait was an important step in Russia's relationship.
That's right. Shows that they know the deal. They know the deal. What's up? Let me show you some videos. Here's how things are going in Chicago. I believe this is Chicago. A couple out for a nice dinner. Here they are. And they'll have some strangers come up, I guess, ask for directions. I don't know.
Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything.
What else you do? You got two guns stuck in your face. This is our nation's capital. I believe this is the one. This is it. Nice calm day in the nation's capital. One swinging a chain, the other one's got a machete, and who knows what that other one was doing when he threw something and fell down. Our nation's capital. Muriel Bowser, mayor. Here's Home Depot. I believe it was Home Depot. Wait a second. Home Depot parking lot. And they got, I don't know how many sitting down there. Whoa, 4 or 5 of them. Watch how everybody sticks up for them.
An early morning Immigration and Customs Enforcement raid at the Home Depot in Pomona swept up several day laborers as they waited outside hoping to be hired for the day. One of them, Carlos, narrowly avoided being caught. Speaking through an interpreter, he described the emotional toll.
I arrived here, and when I started seeing the scene, I started crying. The tears started leaving.
According to Carlos and other witnesses, the raid unfolded just around 8 a.m. as ICE agents arrived in both marked and unmarked vehicles, rounding up workers from the parking lot. Local immigrant right groups, including the Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice and the National Day Labor Organizing Network, organized an emergency press conference and rally.
And we know that these type of operations intend to intimidate people who are looking for an honest day of work not to come to the day labor corners.
If you are detained, you can exercise your rights. You can refuse to answer questions, and you can ask to speak to an attorney.
Lawfare. Aiding and abetting. Oh, they're just looking for work, an honest day's work. Well, they picked that one guy up. He was hanging drywall. He was wanted for red rum. He was hanging drywall. There are American people that belong to bricklayers unions or are very good at running wire, running pipe, hanging drywall themselves. But then they get people that work for peanuts and they don't get any, Americans don't get any work. So there has to be some brakes put on this. Here's Bobby Kennedy. Why don't we have as many Bobby Sinclairs going out and earning $1 mowing a yard, or a bunch of young people that can carry shingles up to a roof or hang drywall or lay brick? How come we don't have people like that as much as we used to?
The highest chronic disease today at 60%. 74% of our kids cannot qualify for military service. We have fertility rates that are just spiraling. A teenager today, an American teenager, has less testosterone than a 68-year-old man. Sperm counts are down 50%.
Wait,
girls are
an
hitting
American
puberty 6 years
teenager
early.
has less testosterone than a 60-year-old man?
That's right, because the testosterone levels have dropped 50% from historic levels. And, and that is a problem. And it's an existential problem. But that is only when we have obesity. That is off the chart.
Less testosterone than a 68-year-old man. That's 2 years away from 70. Oh boy, I got all these, I got a lot of different things to show you about their coordinated narrative. Coordinated narrative. Here. Somebody else I never heard of. The Tony Michaels podcast. I've never heard of him. On Substack. He puts this up about Trump. He gets 36,000 thumbs ups. Somebody I never heard of. Only in America could a billionaire make us pay for his golf weekends and tell us we can't have food, health, science, or art. What in the hell is this moron talking about? As much as Donald Trump has given to this country, risked his life, lost billions, he's saying that Donald Trump tells them they can't have food, health, science, or art. Did Donald Trump put all the petroleum dye in your food? Did he lie to you and say with science that there's global warming? Do you call art those books I was showing you about cultivating children? What's he doing? What's Trump doing at the White House? With his own money. With his own money. Not a damn thing. He was getting 10% for the big guy, for everything going down around the world. 10%. But here's Donald Trump helping.
We're putting up a beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flag. 2 flags, top of the line, and they've needed flagpoles for 200 years. It was something I've often said, you know, they don't have a flagpole per se, so. The other side on top of the mounds. It's going to be 2 beautiful poles.
Mr. President on China, President Trump on China.
Paid for by Trump.
Mr. President, how quickly?
When did they say you have to arrive in about a week or so?
Paid for by Trump. You won't hear the mainstream media say a damn word. Trump is ripping off the people. Ripping off the people. Here is Devin Nunes put this up. Wait a second, I got this one first. Before I put up Devin Nunes. Democrats. Trump's White House is using 30,000 real eggs worth over $15,500 for their Easter egg roll. Meanwhile, Americans dyed potato money. So a man can become a woman, but a potato can't be an egg? You sound like a bigot. But anyway, another damn lie. Another damn lie, but they all repeat it. Devin Nunes put this up as a response to this stupid narrative. Does anyone have pictures of these potatoes other than the fake news? Please post in the comments. I'd like to see them. The New York Times. Easter eggs are so expensive, Americans are dying potatoes. Just a bold-faced lie. With cost high and supply short. People are getting creative with Easter egg tradition. BS. Here's Babylon Bee again. MS-13. Added to LGBTQ acronym. There you go. They got Pedro on the end there. Yay! My screen's not moving like it should. Deception, deceit. Here, you got these idiots right here. What is it about this Garcia guy? 4 Democrats just arrived in El Salvador to campaign for the release of a MS-13 terrorist gang member and alleged wife beater. And there they are, Garcia from California, Frost from Florida, from Arizona, and Maxine Dexter from Oregon. He's from Maryland. What used to be from Maryland was a fugitive in Maryland. There they are, pack of freaks. It's a losing game. They look like idiots. The House Republicans said, we'll pay for your trip if you live stream it. Make sure you smile at your people home you represent to let them know you're doing everything you can for Abrego Garcia. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, here we go. Oh, where'd it go? Man, my screen is giving me a fit. Trump administration arrests one of India's most wanted fugitives, suspected, connected to terrorist attacks. He was released into the U.S. under President Biden. His name is Harpreet Singh, one of India's most wanted fugitives. Ice nabs, illegal alien wanted for terrorism. Oh, good. Well, I'm coming up to an hour and 45 minutes. Holy cow. They don't publish what Trump says. The good things he says, the good things he does. But here we've got one of these characters being held. There, he gets a picture. ABC News. This is not be done by law. This is totally illegal, and it's out of the blue. Who is he? Who is this person that's getting this media coverage by ABC, a prominent news agency? After his deportation was temporarily blocked by a Supreme Court order. 19-year-old Venezuelan migrant, illegal alien Alessandro Paredes spoke to ABC News from a detention center in Texas. This is not being done by law. This is totally illegal and out of the blue. Recounting the attempted deportation on Friday, we get grabbed in the morning, about 4 in the morning, and we just get taken to a van. They tried to put us on a plane, he said from Immigration Customs Enforcement's Blue Bonnet Detention Center. Well, when the smoke clears, you're going back on that plane and getting that HE double hockey sticks out of here. All right, I got a video for y'all. You all know this gentleman right here. Laura Ingram's like, she can't get a word in edgewise. But anyway, he lays it down the way it is, folks. But anyway, I said at the beginning of the video, I appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, why not? That way you'll know when I go live. And I want to thank everybody for going to buy me a coffee. We're in the third week. Well, last week was Gary and Wayne and Mike and Bev and Miss Mendersu. I appreciate it so much. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help support the channel. And it works even after the live stream. Evening, and I want to thank you once again for spending your precious time with me. This is not a rehearsal. This is real life. We get one shot at it, and every minute's precious. And the fact that you all spend your time with me is important to me and greatly appreciated. I do appreciate it. I know how valuable it is. So anyway, folks, enjoy this little clip. Have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
A delay there, but I'm glad she came on.
To hear the words rule of law come out of her mouth is so disturbing and appalling. She and her party presided over the mass invasion of America, 20 million illegal aliens coming into our country, stealing our jobs, stealing our tax benefits, committing crimes of rape, torture, and murder against American citizens that doesn't elicit even an ounce of empathy or sympathy from the pro-illegal alien gangster Democrat Party. She's also dead wrong about the Supreme Court ruling. They reversed the lower court and said the lower court cannot tell the president how to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. That was the 9-0 ruling. This illegal organization that has wreaked havoc across this country, MS-13, has received more due process than almost any American citizen who has been persecuted by their government over the last 4 years, who were jailed, imprisoned, and deplatformed by the Biden administration. We are watching the Democrat Party twist itself into knots to give every illegal alien terrorist and MS-13 and trained Airwagwa more process, more court time, more intervention than any innocent American citizen has ever received. It turns my stomach. Americans want these terrorists the hell out of our country.
Stephen, if the court stays on the facilitation of his return angle, and then this becomes a debate about, okay, show us what you did to try to facilitate his return. Then what? What happens in that regard? Because I kind of see that's where this is going. It's like, okay, we can't force you, but did you try to facilitate? You know what I mean? Like, these judges are just appalling. But I have a feeling that's the way it's going to move.
No court in this country, least of all a district court, has the power to compel the president of El Salvador to free one of his own citizens, an illegal alien in our country who's a citizen of his country, a subject of El Salvador, who under El Salvador's laws is also a terrorist in our country, a terrorist in his country. El Salvador is not subject to the court rulings of the United States. To suggest that but that's the bottom line. He is in the custody of El Salvador, a sovereign country. Right. He's not in our custody. But Laura, you have the entire Democrat Party that is in love with this gangster in El Salvador who beat his wife, who's a member of a terrorist organization, who has code for MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. And you've seen the amount of coverage, the amount of discussion over this one illegal alien gangster. What was the reprieve for Americans who watched their communities get occupied by these foreign gangs? Where was their due process? Where was their rights? Where was the media and where were the courts when their loved ones were getting beaten, raped, and murdered? That's who President Trump is fighting for, not foreign terrorists, Americans.